Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Hack the Box Ottawa Meetups. I'm JF Provost. I'm going to be your host today. Unfortunately, our Steve is not going to be able to make it up. Unfortunately, he's sick, but hopefully very soon he's going to be good to go and be able to join us again. So yeah. So in the meantime, I'll be covering anything that has to do with this presentation over here onto the hacking, like the hack the box, the clicker machine, and then we're going to try to deep dive into the blue side as much as I can. Obviously, I'm not Steve, so I'm not going to be able to go and cover all the ins and outs that he had prepared for you guys. But at the end of the day, I'm quite sure that we're going to be able to get something going. And don't forget, if you want to get access to the machine and try to do it as I go, you can ask or you can request directly the access on what's it called again on Discord channel. So if you're not already in Discord, I would highly encourage you to get there. We're going to start getting a lot more active, so covering other type of materials such as Sherlock and some hack the box machines and the like. So we're going to be able to go even further and then enjoy ourselves for sure. So that's something that I hope you guys are going to be able to enjoy as much as possible. All right. So yeah, going full purple today. Exactly. Sorry, I got Discord on here, so if you see a little bit of side of my head, it's because I know there's people talking over there. I'm also monitoring YouTube, so feel free to talk on both channels. It shouldn't be an issue, and I should be able to interact with you as much as possible. All right. So before I start going and integrate the machine and go even further, there is a question that's been asked by a couple of people on trying to figure it out how to be able to get a job in this field, which is somewhat hard sometimes to be able to figure that out. You don't know exactly where to go. You don't know how to be able to do it. But there is something that not everyone knows about, and it's called, like, it's directly, like, I'm going to show you this right now. If you give me a second, there you go. So we have a job section into the Hack the Box website, right? So as soon as we log on, if you guys can take a look, that's the actual normal location we're going to go. And then you have a job board down here, right? Where you're going to be greeted with a bunch of different positions that sometimes are available, right? So these ones, as you are trying to get through the website and you're trying to get some level up, like we're going to start with noob, script kiddie, then hacker, pro hacker, and the likes. There is actual potentially jobs that you could apply eventually, right? So obviously they're not all like, I mean, we could go probably in 2021 in there if we keep going at page 12. But if you keep taking a look at it and then eventually see something that could be very interesting. So for me, for example, I'm a pro hacker, so it's easy enough for me to just select pro hacker and then see the jobs I'm eligible, right? And then I can apply. I can just take a look at the job, trying to see exactly where it's at and the likes, and then just apply or go view a website, and that'd be good. Not every positions over here are made for pro hacker, right? They could be for more experienced people, or they could be also for script kiddie. So you can see here, even this one, I'm able to apply for that. So that's something to keep in mind. So basically, like, as you're trying to go through machines over here, the active one, right? They will give you basically points, and as you get points, eventually, it's the same system as leveling up a character on other websites like World of Warcraft or the likes. There's so many different video games we can talk about. Yeah, so you level up. Those levels, you don't lose them if you decide to stop. However, if you don't achieve, let's say, that extra 5% that you need, it might be just a little bit harder to be able to get there, because as machines are getting basically like retired, you're losing those points, right? So you got to keep yourself current, and as you progress, you're going to be able to go higher. I know another little places you can, another little place you can go is under the challenges. And again, that's the same thing. You have active, you have retired, but if you want to get those points, you go to actives, and then you keep going. If you have a VIP one, that's the one. But if you click on active here, right, you're going to be able to see all the active. The VIP ones are the retired ones, as you can see, right? So you do those ones, you get actual points, and then you can grow up in there. So this one here, just to give you a little rundown before we again achieve the other machine. Basically, we have different type of challenges that we can actually cover. We can cover different type. So if we're looking for basically blockchain, crypto, forensics, I really like forensics, to be honest. We have OSINT that we're going to use the internet as well. Oh, we got Steve here. Yeah, there you go. So, well, good to hear that he's able to make it to the keyboard. Maybe not, unfortunately. It's unfortunate that he's not able to get in front of a camera and then hear his beautiful voice, but we will survive. But yeah, so either way, those things are very cool to do. And then as you make them and you click on each one of them, you get grid with, let's say, starting the instance and then download files if you need to and the likes. Sherlock, a little bit different, right? Sherlock is a lot more for people that are on the blue side and they want to try to experiment and understand how it is. So as you can see, I've done already a couple in there. We go to active, right? I've done some of the easy machines where sometimes you're going to be provided, let's say, a memory dump, and then you have to use tools and resources to be able to figure out what happened. What did the hacker did, right? So if we go, let's say, you're probably going to see the answers, but anyways, no big deal. Take a look at noted, and then we're going to be able to see that there is like a file that's being provided, and we have to go through. So I'm not going to go show all the questions, but you can see the top two, where they're asking you questions, and then you have to find the information within the file, which is basically a zip file that you have to unzip and protect it with a password. The password is the same for all of them, so no big deal for this, right? So yeah, that should be fairly interesting. This is basically what I like to do, and by doing this, you can eventually get more points as you go. So yeah, so that's one of the thing, and then eventually probably going to start a team just on this platform. So everybody that wants to join, that'd be cool. So we can get our team on the Ottawa meetups and get some point over there and help each other out and have some sessions all as well on Discord. All right, good. So, do we have any questions so far? Yeah. There's lots of stuff. I mean, there's lots of things that are basically hidden gems that people don't really know about it. Like even the advanced labs, people don't really know what it is, but it's very cool. It's basically you can play two versus two, right? On the battleground, for example. So you see here, you can get two matches per month that you can get in there, and you can compete against other players. So right now you have two people playing in zero and queue. So it's unfortunate sometimes like these things are not being pushed as much as they could. But if you wanted to try to join like a party of two, that can be very interesting. You have Fortress and Game a little bit different, but still very interesting. And then if we go to Pro Lab, that's that one there. Like I did Dante, sorry. It's basically the same, like, well, not the same, sorry. Let me rephrase this. It's basically a simulated environment, enterprise environment where you get to do some hacking. Dante is a little bit closer to what the OSCP could be represented if you are interested in offensive security certifications, such as the OSCP, right? So you do Dante, and then you should be good to go, technically speaking, to be able to do it. You should be able to cover almost all the ins and outs. And for example, the first machine, you hack into it, and then after that, you pivot within the network. And I think you have to do two pivot at one point to be able to compromise the other machines a little bit further down the road. And then you have other machines, other environments where they're going to be a lot more advanced, right? So that's something to keep in mind. That can be very interesting for a lot of people to cover. To be honest, they're a lot of fun. This one here, I play with friends, and it's a lot of fun to contribute all together. And then once you find information on one machine, a lot of times you can use it on a different machine, not necessarily on the same one, which is a lot more realistic. Well, I mean, like depends on the case, but can be somewhat a little bit more realistic than having only one machine and trying to figure it out only within that one machine. So something to keep in mind. But I can tell you, like, there's so many different resources you can go and do this, get points, then you get to the job board over here and you start applying for jobs as soon as they show up. And then I mean, like, there's multiple ways to be able to get jobs. So if you don't know where to look, those ones could be possible. And nothing stop as well somebody to be able to see a job, I don't know, in Germany and wanted to relocate over there, that can potentially help you out, right? So I mean, I'm not saying you would, but that's something to keep in mind that potentially could be feasible through that, right? Yeah, this is Letter Alba. So this is a great confidence builder for a CTF. By the sounds of it, yes, yeah, exactly. You build the confidence. You build like you. It's much easier this way to be able to be confident in there because you know how many machines you've done, you know what's happening. And one thing too, I forgot to show is like sometimes it's not just you that contact them. If you can see here on September 16th, 2021, Sinak reached out to me to be able to get in there. Sinak is more of a bug bounty hunter program, right? You could eventually get onto their red team if you perform. So that's another way to also start getting in there and having your own schedule and the likes, right? If we talk about Sinak, another option that could be very interesting also is Hacker One. I think that's the website. Yeah, Hacker One's also another great place to take a look at. So yeah, and then eventually, what I'm thinking about is I'm currently creating a course that's built around everything that Hack the Box has. For example, the bug bounty hunter certification they have. So eventually, I'll be basically giving that like basically a full class on how to be able to get from let's say beginner to well beginner of the certification up to the end and ready for you to be able to challenge the actual certification on Hack the Box. And next, after that, bringing people on platforms like HackerOne, so you get to be able to experiment and already do your job. Like I mean, like it's flexible, so it's up to you to decide how you want to do it. But that's a possibility. So if we take a look real quick, without going too much in depth, and then after that, I promise I'm going to go to uh, activities. So go directly to the machine so we can hack it. So if we take a look here, we're going to see a bunch of different places. So let's say IBM, they have an actual bug bounty with HackerOne, right? So then we can see that somebody, his name is called Nightmare, found the cross-site scripting, right? Or the, no, site, I can't remember, XSS? XXS? I can't remember exactly what this one is. Well, it's a cross-site scripting. Yeah, it does. I was thinking about something else. Never mind. Cross-site scripting. There we go. If we keep going there, we have other places. LinkedIn as well has a bug bounty program. Are we able to see? Oh yeah, $540 for this one. That's all US dollars. We keep going down. 250 for HTML injection and TikTok ads. So at the end of the day, I mean, like, 1500. I don't know. Can we see a big payout? That'd be great. That'd be great. Let's see a big payout. Can we? Hold S, highest reward. 50K Shopify. I mean, like, there's no promises there that you're going to be able to get something like this, right? However, if you're working, let's say, a full-time job and you want to make it as your part-time job and or a hobby, it's up to you, right? Because you can actually eventually find those type of vulnerabilities, right? Cross-site scripting, even though they're like 250, $500 US dollars, it's still better than having nothing, right? So you're actually doing something that obviously Hack the Box is pretty good for that, right? To make you learn and do it. But now you get to be able to write actual report and get money out of it. There's one at $25,000. Oh, I think is it the one? Expose credit. No, that's not the one. I saw another one where you could delete the Snapchat videos, and the guy got paid $25,000. So, and that's 3 years ago. So that's less than that. So yeah, I mean, like, there's a bunch of different companies here that you can take advantage of. So there's no reason why that Hack the Box training, Hack the Box machines, and the likes would stop you from being able to get extra like experience, and then after that, trying to apply for jobs. And in the meantime, you get experience, and those bugs you put them on your resume, right? I mean, that's a basically a no-brainer where you're going to be able to get extra money, and nothing stop you from being able to be actually finding a job later on, right? All right. I don't think I'm finding. Sorry, Am I missing anything? Perfect. All right. Sounds good. So I just need to find my mouse again, and then we're going to be able to start hacking away. Okay. Sounds good. So in this case here, I have my machine. Did I? Yeah. I just need my IP. Because otherwise we're going to be screwed a little bit. That's going to be hard to be able to do anything with it. Okay, so we start with an nmap. As usual, the first step of pretty much everything is enumeration, right? So if I put my little banner over here, brand, we're going to go and put enumeration. Oh, that's already on top. I forgot. I wanted to put the other one. Either way, enumeration is there. Let's move on to this as well. It's going to be a bit bigger and easier for you guys to see. All right, so we see here nmap. We're going to put the IP address, and we're going to take a look at it. This is only the top 1,000 ports. We're going to take a look, right? That's the first step. Second step for us could be two things. We either try to take a look at all the ports, right? And we let it run. And we can also start another one and do, let's say, an nmap where we're going to try to go even further than this and just like pinpoint the ports that we need. So we have, let's say, 22. We have port 80. We have 111, and then we have also 2049. Can anybody here in the chat tell me why I would do it like this here and just put those ports? In the meantime, let's press enter. Sony has paid out some 10K, 15K's bounties for hacking the PlayStation hardware. Yeah, that's correct. There is actually things like that happens. Well, if you're answering to the question that I was talking about, not necessarily for internet facing. There is a reason why we would just decide to do like TAC P. Maybe my question is not clear enough. I TAC P and just decide to write this over here. So this one is still running. Let's take a look at our status. It's 85% done. Okay, so as this one is getting done, the full port, the full 65,000 plus ports, what we're going to do is we're going to move on to take a look at what we have, what we're presented with. Okay, so here we're seeing port 22, SSH, OpenSSH 8.9, P1. Most of the time, I would say this is one of the services that I've seen the less likely being an issue. I've seen once where you could enumerate actual users, right? So you could take a user, basically dictionary list, and then send it directly against the port 22, and then you could find out exactly who was part of it without exactly logging in, right? There's port 80. Port 80 normally is the one we're going to go take a look at, and then we have a NFS, which is a file sharing system. So that's something we can take a look later on and see how far we can go with this. Okay. All right, so let's go directly. This one is not done yet. That's no big deal. We started Firefox. There we go, showed up. In the meantime, also, most of the time what we do a nano on the Etsy, and we're going to put our host in there. So we don't have to always put the IP address, and we can just like enter clicker dot, clicker.htb. HTTP. There we go. Then once I'm done, Control X, save modified buffer. So yes, which is Y, and then press enter. Now, every time I should do, let's say, a ping clicker .htb, right? I should be pinging exactly the port, not the port, but the IP that I just configured. All right. So here, if I go to clicker.htb, remember here, if you don't put the HTTP, it's going to bring you directly to Google, right? So HTTP // enter. All right, so now we're presented with a web page, which is called Clicker the Game. The ultimate gaming experience. Join countless other players in playing the most amazing game ever made. How many clicks can you get? So it doesn't seem to have much more here. We're presented with info. Is that the page we're at? No. Check what the top player think about. Okay, so one of the best game I've ever played. Not sure about that, but we'll see on this. Okay, and is there any interacting thing that we have over here we're not seeing in the back? As far as I can tell you, no. That's info.php. Back to home. So log in here. Log in, there you go. So we're presented with this page. But I saw registering. So what I'm going to do basically, I'm going to go to register. So, okay. So I guess nobody exactly like answered that question. So before I go a little bit further, the reason why we're trying to do this here, right? It's not necessarily because it's internet facing. It's because if we have to interface with a computer, we're trying to be like to do less traffic. So if we're trying to point exactly on these ones, we're going to have less traffic. So basically, we're going to have two things: less chances to be detected if that's the case, and secondly, also there's less queries that's going to be made against other ports, right? So the other port are just basically disregarded. So now if we're doing 1, 2, 3, and then 4 ports, it's much easier to do that compared to against like 1,000 ports and trying to figure it out if they're open first, right? So these ones, that's the way to do it. I hope it makes sense. All right, so in this case here, what we're going to do is create a new user. I'm going to call it hacker to make it easy enough so you guys uh, don't wonder about it. Let's do submit. Let's save it. So it's going to be easy. Do a login and hacker, like a password is hacker too. So now we are logged in. If we play over here, we're going to be able to just click and we see we're trying to figure out how the website is acting as well, right? So we click here, clicks up, we have a level up, and then it makes us use like 25. As we're leveling up, it seems to be increasing as well, right? So if I go to 75, click on that, it goes back to 0, but puts me at level 2 now. It's the second time I'm clicking there, right? And then it seems that there's an increase every time. I mean, like that's whoever said it was the most like fun game ever. I don't know what they were smoking, but uh all right, so that's a very good point. So we understand a little bit how the game works. We can also try to do an inspect into the code in the back. And maybe not inspect directly. Let's do view page source instead. And try to see if there's anything interesting over here that could be interesting for us to go a little bit further down, but we don't really see anything. At least I don't see anything. Um, all right, so we're not able to do anything. We're gonna close this. Well, not able to do anything. We're not able to see anything that could be interesting. So if we save, we close it. Seems that the game has been saved. Good. So now, because we're not able to see anything happening that seems to be like out of the ordinary, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, like, we could go to log out and try something else real quick. Do a login because that's another thing too that normally we would do. Admin. Is there anything that works here? No. Um, we have, let's say, admin 123. No. Admin. Um, I guess it saved it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't update. Admin again. So it's a little bit hard. So password instead. Password 1, 2, 3. No. So I mean, one thing we could do is to try to take a look with Burp Suite and see what kind of information is going to be sent over there. Is there anything that we could see that could make us very interested into the actual website? So we're starting very normal. We're not going in depth into like how Burp Suite is actually running. The only thing we're going to do is intercept basically a website. I'm going to put it here on the right side. We're going to go to proxy. Intercept is on, and then here we have the Foxy proxy to Burp port 8080. And here, let's give it a try with, let's say, admin again, right? And do a submit. So now we take a look. We see user admin. We could potentially try to do SQL injection here and see if it works, because obviously this is something that could potentially work. Hard to tell. Let's give it a try. That's another thing too that we could do. Whoops, admin, and then or one equal one dash dash dash. Let's give it a try with this. Oops, wrong button. CV submit. So there's nothing there. Sometimes that happen. That's you have to play a little bit around because if you guys remember, the code that's behind it is the one we have to try to escape, right? So sometimes like doing something like this and leaving it open on the end could work as well. Doesn't mean it's going to work, but there's multiple ways. Otherwise, there's a dictionary we could potentially use against it, or there's a automated tool that we can use as well against this. Does anybody know the automated tool? Maybe, maybe no. No, not sure. I'm quite sure Alex knows. I'm quite sure Alex knows. And most likely, oh, Steve's too. Yeah, that's right. Steve is still here with us. All right, so we're not able to do it. You can hear me, but no, sorry. That's again another thinking is hard on Thursdays. So when it would be easier to think? Which day? Don't tell me Fridays. Don't tell me Fridays. All right, so let's disable. Good. Let's go back here. We already registered. The other thing we can do also is we can go to hacker and then come here. Let's take a look at this one. So we have play. And then we're going to go to burp. Again, make sure it's on. And then if we do a save and close. So we see there's something here, but it's not necessarily giving us any information. Obviously, we could try to inject something, but we don't really know how the actual web page is made, which makes it a little bit harder for us to be able to go and deep dive deep a little bit further down the road, right? So you know what? Oh, does the top player leader show a number? Maybe it's the top player and their number of clicks, username and password. Potentially. I just don't know. Like right now, if we click on save close, but we go to profile, we see us, but we don't see anybody else. Well, we see nicknames. Is there something that can be done? So let's say we do intercept over here, right? And we come here. It's already on burp. There's nothing I can do. What's showing up over here? We have indexed. That doesn't show us much. Let's go back to profile. Is there something? No. Is there something that we can find that seems to be good out of that? No, it's basically only the HTML page that's being displayed, right? So it seems that there's like pretty much like nothing here that's allowing us to do anything. So what we're going to do is, in the meantime, change values in the request and see if it breaks anything and get an error page. Yeah, sure, we can give it a try. So let's save and close. So let's say for us, we just want to be the best. So we're going to put a bunch of nines and we're going to put, I don't know, 333 as a level, right? Let's give it a try and see how it goes. So game saved. Is it actually saving us with this? Oh. See? We're playing with the database a little bit now. So it seems that oh fuck. Oh sorry, my bad. I need to watch my language. Yeah. So we see here that's a lot to be able to level up again. I don't think we're going to be able to anytime soon, but we see we have some sort of interaction with the database. Yeah, I mean that's a good thing. Maybe we can do on again. Can we just save and close? And are we able to, for example, send it to repeater over here? And then let's give it a try with something. We have click. We have. Oh yeah, that's right. We had the table earlier, isn't it? right? So let's just go here real quick. Let's press this, but we have profile. Is it going to go? Okay. We had click, we have levels. So we saw that those ones are here on the repeater, levels and clicks. But I see nickname over here. Is there something I could give myself with a nickname? Maybe. I don't know if it's going to take it though. Let's go here in nickname equal. I don't know. Hacker. No, not hacker. I'm already hacker. I want to have another one. Let's go just HTTP. Okay, and then send it there. Let's give it a try. See how it goes. I don't think there's anything else that we need to really do. C302 found. Follow redirection. Okay, that's interesting. If we go back to proxy here, it's off. Go back here. Can we go back to profile? Doesn't seem to be changing it. Oh, we could have changed it. Oh, that's a good suggestion here. Ottawa. It's a good suggestion. But it doesn't seem to be doing anything here. What does it say? We render it. Game has been saved. But it doesn't go any further, right? So we're going to go up ready again. We're going to go back. Back again. HTTP. Let's go to Ottawa. And then let's say we are going to send this. I can test this. Yeah, I can test this for sure. Welcome to player. Your game has been saved, but it doesn't seem to be working with this. So let's go back again here. Profile. I'm still a hacker over here. Okay, so let's give it a try with what Alex just mentioned that we have here. Nick, I just saw your text fuzz. That's another one that we can do, obviously. I'll just try something that Alex asked me first. Let's put just a quote. What's happening with this? Are we breaking it? Are we doing something interesting with it? Okay, let's do follow redirection. Yeah, it might be because I'm viewing only my profile info. It's possible. Okay, that's not working. So let's go back here. Let's try over here. Does it do anything? Trying a couple places sometimes. So see, we're creating like internal server error with this. If I do this, does it do something? Internal server error. If I use the double quote instead, it should not be the thing, but we're still seeing an issue. Okay, so fuzz, or I think you meant fuff, or W fuzz, right, Nick? If we take a look here, this is what, if I can see it, there you go. This is what Nick sent. So fuzz could be potentially a way to do it. I would say probably, I mean, like if you're trying to enumerate something like this and you don't really care on Hack the Box specifically, you don't really care that much. At that point, that's not too much of a deal. If you're trying to use FUF, might be easier to use SQL injection. SQL map. FUF is actually something that's it can be used, but like for something specific, which can be a little bit harder to be able to pinpoint, especially if you're not sure where the entry point for the SQL injection is. If you find it right away, that's fine. It's not a big deal. Then you can use FUF, but then you have to use a proper dictionary that's going to help you out to be able to achieve this, which could be a little bit harder. On the other hand, SQL map will run through a bunch of different things, right? So let's see if we can actually do something with SQL map. Let it run in the background. And then what I'm curious about is we have another port that we could probably just check if you guys want to follow along with me. We're going to check the other port, 2049. That could be very interesting too. Okay, so let's go here. SQL map. I'm not sure all the time all the flags that we need to use. So let's give it a try and see what we could use for this. So we do a dash dash help, and then we take a look. So dash u for URL or dash dash URL equal. We could have data. We could have something. We could have also risk or level. For now, I'll just leave it as normal. U, and then we have HTTP forward slash clicker.htb. And then here we're going to paste it. Okay, we have it twice. And then let's give it a try with this. So another thing too that I like to do is dash dash batch. Okay, so batch is basically just going to go through the whole thing by itself, right? So you're not going to have to say yes on every freaking every little thing. It's going to be a lot easier to be able to go further. So you just press. Oh, is it like written like that? Did I make a mistake? Hold on. Let's take a look. I thought it was batch. BATCH. That's not what I wrote. BATCH. Is there an issue? So let's just copy and start a new shell. It seems that it's kind of a little bit off. Copy. It should just like work right away. That's interesting. Oh, click. With most likely leftover characters from SQL injections, please always use valid parameters. Okay. Can we use this? No, it's still an issue. Do you want to use those? Yeah, well, yes. Stop. Command not found. Let's give it a try just with this. There you go. So it's just going to take a look at this one automatically and then go through the whole thing. Seems that it's not finding anything at this point for this. But that can be hard, right? To actually find the right spot. I can't remember. I think there is something where you could just leave it as one and then it would stay there or whatever. So let's put it as level. Is there something we can do just with level? No, there's nothing. Okay, let's move on. If you guys remember, we had 2049. We're going to come back to the website. For now, we've done a couple things, little efforts to try to see, but right now we have 2049, which is a file share, right? So what we can do show mount. I think it was dash E to be able to enumerate or at least to see what's going on there on clicker.htb, right? And what we can see, it seems that we have a mount where we're going to be able to see where that one is, right? So one of the things that we can do is at this point, we could give it a try and mount this one, right? We have make dir. We're going to go to MNT and then we're clicker. I'll just name it as clicker, so it's going to be easier. I need to do sudo. Okay, so now we're going to do a sudo mount. Then tac T is going to be for the type. We have NFS, right? For the file system type deal we're going to have to deal with. We have clicker.htb. And then after that was the MNT clicker that we have. Not this one, sorry, this one. Backup or backups that we're going to put there. Paste. So basically, we're going to mount all our stuff, right, that we have, and we're going to go and mount it to MNT clicker that we have here. So the one I just created, that's exactly where we're going to go and put it on. And then just type in no lock. Share directory, clicker, NFS, sudo mount. I forgot to put the semicolon over here because we're going to that machine and then we're pointing out to this one here. I said semicolon, but it's colon. All right, so let's go take a look at MNT and then clicker now. Whoa, I can write. And we have a file. We have clicker.htb. So that's a zip file. So what we're going to do here, we're going to move it to our drive. So make dir, we're going to put it here onto clicker and make dir. And then now we need to do a copy of clicker HTTP. So that's a file, and we're going to move it to where we just created our folder. Did it actually copy it there? Clicker. Yeah. Okay. Good. Headed back to bed, but great job, JF. Good luck, everyone, and have a good evening. So good. Thank you. Thank you, Steve, and hopefully you're going to do well tomorrow, and you're going to be much better. I think you have kids, so it's probably not helping out. Good, perfect. So just a slight reminder, if you're following along with me and then you'd like to be able to get access to this machine, it's still feasible to be able to get access for free. If you go directly on our Discord server, if you're on YouTube, you go take a look down at the bottom. In the video description, you're going to be able to find the actual a link directly for joining our Discord. Then after that, you have a section in the channel where it says server access. You just request over there, and Alex should be able to provide you with access right away after. So the only caveat in there is there's two options. You can either use Pullbox like I'm doing right now, which I believe is available for 2 hours for most people, or if you have your own machine, like your own Kali Linux or Parrot OS or something like that, you can actually also connect on the OpenVPN, and then after that, hack your way through. So yeah. All right. I see High Time saying hi. To there we go. Hope you're doing well. Yes, doing well. Pretty good. Happy to have you over here. How many people do we have now? We have 12 people. Yeah, feel free to chat online and have a conversation. If you have anything else, you don't need to only chat on Discord. You can also chat on YouTube. Feel free, and then let's have a conversation here. We're gonna move forward, and if you have any suggestions about what could be done, let's give it a try. Obviously, like for example, for FOF, it's going to be a much harder because that right now we don't know where the SQL injection is. So even if we use SQL map, it's still not able to find any like points where we can actually do it. So it can be hard to do to go even further than this. So that's the only reason why, Nick, I'm not using your tool that you mentioned earlier. Otherwise, that'd be a good one. Again, those things will happen. You're going to think about a tool, you're going to do it, and then you're going to realize, oh, it's a rabbit hole. And then you're just screwed. And you spend maybe 2-3 hours trying to do one thing, and it's not going to work, right? It is what it is, but you know what? We're all learning, and that's the case. And to be honest, and I'm quite sure a lot of people can testify to that, or at least if I talk to you and then you were asking about OSCP, how many machines do I need to compromise to be confident enough? Or at least it depends on your experience, your background. But I would say in general, somebody that's starting up and start compromising computers to be able to be, I would say, comfortable enough to say OSCP should be easy enough, or even like CPTS, which is from Hack the Box. I would recommend highly to go to around like probably 100 machines to be compromised. And that include as well the one you could use on Hack the Box and the retired machines, right? So that's another possibility to do that. So yeah, good. Can you enter any code into the parameter such as XSS? Yeah, I could do it. Do you have an example of what we could do? In the meantime, I'm going to go unzip this folder here. But if you have an example of a good XSS that could be entered, I can give it a try for sure. All right. So we're on Clicker. So we're going to do unzip here, and then Clicker, and unzip everything here. Okay, so now we have everything under clicker.htb. And one thing I really like to do when I see this, because we have a lot of PHP, is using code and then dots. So basically, it's visual code that will be started in this location, right? So we're going to be able to see and visualize all the code that's happening. So we see here all those pages, and if I click on them, trust the author. If I click on them, they're going to be identified as PHP, right? So they're color coded. It's much easier to be able to find them. If we're trying to take a look at something specific, we can actually like see. Look, I'm highlighting color, and then color here at the bottom is being highlighted. So if I'm looking for specific things, it could be very interesting. So now the way that it looks like, we have saved games. The way it looks like is, it seems that we were provided the actual website, right? So we can probably, I don't know if it's updated. I don't know if it's actually the right one, but um, it seems that it could potentially be the one that we were actually visiting. So asset background, and what's asset background? If I go here, places, home folder. Sorry, a lot of people are GUI. I'm a little bit more on the on the GUI side, but not on the command line side. So here we see background, and basically that's background. So we can see it's the same thing basically, right? So it looks like we have potentially the website where we're going to be able to analyze and see how it's being actually done. We see the code of login.php. We're not sure exactly what it's doing yet. See script, that's the end of it. So okay, script here, script session start PHP. I'm gonna have a exam for OSCP. Any advice? Good question. Or any advice? So let's see here. That's a question that's there. So as I'm looking into it, I would say that the best thing to do to be able to before you want to take the OSCP is take as much knowledge as you need, right? And I was just explaining the fact that 100 machines should be maybe a point where you should try to aim for and say, look, if I have 100 machines compromised, that should be good enough to be able to get in there, right? So that could be one thing. Second thing, I mean, try to do all these things that we're doing, like get on the machines, get on Hack the Box, get on those streams that people are actually doing. Listen to John Hammond, listen to any other stuff. Start your own lab, right? That's another thing too. Start your own lab. Try to create those machines, right? There's one thing that I know somebody told me once. It was, I've learned so much by creating one machine, one vulnerable machine, that it's just insane where you can get from this. So basically speaking, if we just take one little little break here for a second, and then if my mouse wants to jump over, there we go. No, it went on the other side. If we go back here, clicker, okay. I'm on burp. I'm going to put it as disable. All right. So if we go to exploit, move the mouse, exploits dash db, right? We go on that website. So you just have to type this in. You're going to see here exploit-db.com, which is exploit database. You can actually take a look at these exploits, right? So one of the best thing would be to try to verify, make sure they're verified, right? So you could click here and you see verified, and you take a look at one that could be very interesting. Another thing too, CVEs, if you see a level 10 like RCE, that's another one you could check, right? So the thing you would do is you would go get, let's say, a version of Linux. For example, if it's Linux, right? You download it, you create a VM out of that. And then after that, you take a look at, oh, okay, so we have, I don't know, like a web edition CMS. Is this one downloadable, right? If you're able to download this compromisable version here, you just have to basically install that specific version and get ready for being able to compromise it. Also, you need to also harden the machine. You need to go through all that stuff, right? So basically, it gets you to understand how it goes. So if you're like, okay, so I need something to get done on that machine to be able to make sure it's safe. So what are you going to do? You're going to be going potentially to, oh yeah, this one was a little bit screwed a little bit around. So let's go to another one. So basically, if I'm here and I'm like, okay, so I need to know cron tab, right? And then I do -L. I'm trying to see if there's any cron tab. Now I don't have any cron tab, but if I need to create a cron tab, what I'm going to do? Well, I'm going to go there, I'm going to research, and then I'm going to create a cron job, right? So then now I understand the principle and how to create a cron job. So the next step for you, for example, if you get onto a machine that you're trying to compromise, what are you going to do? I'm like, oh, I created services before. I created jobs in the past. I know how to do it, right? So that's another thing too, that you get into the habit of doing like sysadmin a little bit, but at the same time you get to understand both sides. So as you're going through the process of creating a machine, you're also trying to put your hacker hat. How can you compromise that machine yourself, right? And then that's a way to be able to get there. So if I have to say, it's basically it comes with practice and keep going. And then again, the other stuff that we have, if we come back here, like we have the academy that's over here, right? The academy can be a great place also to experiment a bunch of stuff, which has a lot of different paths, right? The bug bounty hunter tool sets, cracking into HTTP. In there, it gives you material where you get to learn, and then eventually you get also to learn by reading, but you get also to do hands-on activities. We have also XYZ. Make sure you have a fridge of drink, fast food available. That's priceless. There you go. Half of the exam is hacking, the other is time management. That's very true. So the one exam, well, I failed twice, right? The second attempt I was supposed to pass, but I made a mistake when I did my report. There's something that got cut out, and because it got cut out of like when I transferred from Word to PDF, right? Because it was cut out, there was information missing, and at that point, that was the issue, right? And that's why I failed the second one. The first one, I think I had like 65 points. So no, 60 points. Sorry. So I was very close to be able to pass, but it is what it is. Second time I got 80 points, but because of those key elements being missing, I failed. And then the third time, I think I got 75 points. Obviously, all the missions were all different, but the one that was that like the last one, I got 75 points. I can tell you, I had like I think 10 hours left on my exam to be able to compromise one machine. I was like, I got enough time to be able to do it. And yeah, I never figured it out. So I was like, that's what it is, right? So you're not going to be able to cover everything, but the best thing is to do your best and be out there as much as possible. But either way, those things here, those courses, those all right, can you guys hear me? Internet issue. So, interestingly enough, now I'm streaming out of my phone. Let's give it a try. Window. Are you guys hearing me well? Good. I just need to get my screen. HDB viewer. Oh, I was there. Okay, good. Perfect. I just need to get this back on for a second. Let's get this on. Bang. Open. There we go. Are you guys seeing it? I mean, like we're seeing everything. Like right now, literally, I'm going out of my phone. I'm not even kidding. So that's got to be fun. It seems that it's acting fine. So if there's anything, just make sure you let me know. Perfect. Good. All right, let's keep going. So where was I? I was talking about these things. Yeah. So basically, HackerOne and all the courses we're going to do eventually to be able to go further. Perfect. All right. So as long as we're good, I'm going to keep going, and that's not an issue. Let's go with the phone. Phone is able to handle it. It's on the charge right now, and if there's anything else, I'll let you know. But for now, it's 100%, so we're good. Perfect. So yeah, so I hope it kind of clarifies a little bit more, Mustafa, what you were asking about how to get there, how to understand. Because the thing is, oh, that's another thing too, is as you're doing those 100 machines, right? And I'm quite sure a couple people here could testify about that. Is you're going to start building up resources like skills. You're going to understand a little bit more what you're trying to achieve, right? It's the same thing as I was telling you, the NFS, right? There's an NFS there. Do I need to? Do I know exactly what it is? Well, if I'm new, I may not know what it is. But if I've done it, I don't know, 10 times in the past, it might be a little bit easier for me to recall exactly what's required to be able to get there. So I did show them out to enumerate and find out if there was something accessible there. If there was nothing else with this, maybe I could have gone somewhere else. I could have gone also trying to find out a actual, what's it called? Find an actual tool that would probably enumerate a little bit further down the road. Let's say an Nmap script that could potentially help me out as well to enumerate a little bit further down. Maybe I could have used, that's another thing too. We could use Nikto, right? Nikto is another tool to be able to enumerate a website. So that's something we could actually launch against the website. I think it's hosts. And again, that's another tool that's not everybody is going to know, because you need to have done it a little bit and do your research, and then eventually you're going to be fine, right? We could also come here next and say, look, we have enum for Linux, right? This one, help. What's the H display enumerate? I think it's just clicker. So if we do clicker.htb, press enter. There we go. Now we're enumerating. So while you're doing your your exam for the OSCP, that's the type of stuff you want to do, right? You do those stuff, and now you're like, okay, let's take a look at this here, right? Because while I'm trying to take a look at this website, those ones are working for me, right? Those two services are working for me. So that's what I need to do to be able to get that, right? There's a nice tool as well that you could use. And again, it goes down to doing some research and knowing what it's auto recon. Tiberius. So as you're doing those 100 machines, you're going to find those tools and you're going to know exactly what it is. This one I used it. I think I've showed it a couple times so far on streams, but you can see here it should be very good for the OSCP. And it's basically going to do every little thing that you need to. So you have the install process, the sec list you're going to be downloading, and then all the tools that are required to be able to do everything. So once you start and initiate this, it's basically doing everything for you, right? From A to Z, and puts that in folder, and then you just need to go take a look at it. That's it. So easy enough for you to be able to navigate and do whatever you need to go even further. So I can give you like so many tools. I can give you so many resources, but it's for you as well to use it and understanding why you're using it, having that process. We got XYZ. Also, be careful with exploits. I've broken key services with key exploit that's prevented me. I should probably just show it on stream also. Prevented me from attacking using the intended non-exploits method. That's correct. If you find an exploit that could be an issue, it could just like stop the service from working, and then you're not going to be able to compromise it. So being into a controlled environment like Hack the Box, it will allow you to be able to do that. If we go here, another one, I tried for hours for my last box and then reverted the box, and the method I tried for hours worked instantly. There we go. That's exactly what I was thinking you were going as well too. So see, we have people here that actually pass the OSCP and then can support you up to a point. Obviously, like we all have day jobs, we all have families, so we can do so much. But if you need anything, just like feel free to ask them over here. I'm quite sure there's a couple people here within our group that can help out for the OSCP. All right, let's keep going and let me know, Mustafa, if you have other questions. So yeah, so here we're basically taking a look. So save game, what we've done, if you can remember, that was one of those PHP file that we had, and we had malicious activity detected, and then it was using the dbutil.php. So let's go take a look over here. So what's interesting here, we're seeing the username and password of the database being used, right? And we see a bunch of little functions being used. So we have the player and password. Okay. We had the save profile, and then there was an argument over here. And it was set string where. So we see here, we have some sort of like something that's being done over here, right? So that's interesting. We have nickname click level. Okay. Nickname click level. Again, that's the same thing. Do we have something else that could be interesting for us? Because obviously we have nick role. So those ones seems to be like kind of position. And role is one of them. Nickname is one of them. So role could be something. Let's go take a look. Edits. Fine. Take a look at, sorry. I think I want to do a little bit further than this. Find in files. And we're looking for roles. So now into the admin.php, we have role admin with capital A. So it seems that if we have role with equal admin capital A, we might be able to bypass and then send send that to the string. If you guys remember, when we were actually looking over here under the dbutil, we have where is it at again? Oh, it's here. So we have the string, right? So if you can recall, we had the click, we had the level, and then after that, if we're able to just kind of add something a little extra over here, we might be able to go a little bit further down the road. The only thing that we had over here was malicious activities detected, right? So prevent malicious users to modify roles. There's something in here that might prevent us from being able to do it, right? Because if that's not happening, so if it's looking for something specific and then it sees it that way, it might just stop it. So let's see if we can actually like just go around that. Okay, let's minimize this. This one is still going through. Web server return a valid response with junk HTTP method. This may be because false positive. Okay. And this one here for enum for Linux, there's nothing really that shows up. So, all right, let's just make it a little bit bigger. If there's anything with the other one, we'll go back there. So nothing here. Okay. No, that's not what I wanted. That's right. We're going back to here and we're going here. So is it going to burp? So it's disable. Back home. We're going to go play. Perfect. And then we're going to go to our burp suite. Go back to proxy, intercept, and then intercept burp. There we go. Now do a save and close. Okay, so we see the click, we see the level. So now we need to figure out a way to put our role in there, right? So we're going to right click, go to repeater, and then it's going to pop up over here. And now we're looking at putting role equal admin, right? If you guys can remember, that's exactly what we had. We could put a and over here and then see if it's going to work. Let's go down. Does it say anything here? Malicious activities detected, right? So see, it got detected. What if we come back and we're changing this? Like I'm going to do Control U, basically. And now I'm just trying basically to kind of trick the server, right? So instead of seeing an actual equal, it's going to see this and then convert it afterwards, right? So let's do this. And then follow redirection. Are we going to see again the same thing? Malicious activities. Oh, game has been saved. So welcome, hacker. Will you become? So let's take a look. Maybe we have something that actually worked. I go here. Okay. Sometimes when you log in once, it will keep exactly something specific, but then you need to log in again. So we were under hacker. Authentication fail. What do you mean authentication fail? Okay. Let's go back here. Ottawa. Ottawa twice. Save. Log in. We'll give it a try again. So we're going to go play. Perfect. So that's good. Am I still on burp? Yeah, still on burp. We're going to do intercept on. Save and close. And then send this one to repeater again. And do the same thing as the second page we had here. Roll. Copy. Go to the third page. Paste it there. And then let's see. Found. Follow the direction. We scroll down. Game has been saved. Okay. So now let's hand this proxy. Game has been saved. Log out. Log in. Let's go to Ottawa. Okay, it didn't work. All right. Let's try again something else. We have repeater, so we might be able to do something with it, right? Sometimes like what we can do a comma. Whoops. I don't know why I did that, but a comma to makes the whole thing. So basically, right, because we have a separation here of and, it could kind of think that the whole thing role admin goes with click, right? But then it's still going to interpret this one to be in there. So let's take a look with this and see how it goes. Sometimes you have to play a little bit around with these things to make it work. Even though it seems that it's fine, it might not be fine 100%. All right, so it seems that the game has been saved again. Let's go disable. Enter. We have nothing. We log out, log in as Ottawa. Oh, there we go. See, we have administration, right? So that new one, we were able to give ourselves administration over here. So just to recap a little bit, is basically we decide to select the role. The percentage 3D, as XYZ mentioned, is basically equal, is the same thing, right? And then after that, we have admin. Admin, which is the exact same thing as what we identified when we did the roles, and it was under admin. We can see here role admin with capital A, right? So that's exactly how we are able to kind of trick the system to be able to include that in there into our code. So that's perfect, right? So now what could be the next step? What do we have access to? Oh, see, we're Ottawa. We're already in there. We're already the top guys. That's pretty good at that point, right? Okay. So if we have access to this place, we see the top names, we see the click, we see the levels, and now we have a new function down. Okay, let's see what type. Okay, I don't need to see this for now, at least not now. I see this. I see this. That's interesting. That could be the export one. We could take a look. Let's do an intercept over here. So intercept on. Let's make sure we have our burp enabled. And then let's do a export, not txt, that's fine. And what does it do? Okay, so C extension txt there. That might be something we can actually change. Okay, is it going to go? Okay, it went there. So now we got that, but let's say we are going to forward this. Now it gives us this afterwards and then forward. Okay, so basically data has been saved in export layer.txt. So it seems that .txt might be doing this, but we saw that the export.php is there too. So I'll just go here first, go HTTP. Whoops, yeah, no, that's fine. And then we have clicker.htb, and we're going to paste this and press enter. Maybe I should have stopped it there. So now we're able to see the actual code over here, right? Okay, I thought somebody answered something. Okay, so we see this. Let's go back here. Is there anything else that we can do? So we saw the code, which is on the repeater. Here it's export.php. What do we have here under export.php? See role admin. It goes to db util as well. Threshold. Okay, and so that's the threshold. Get top player. Is there anything that's related to, we see JSON that's there. We should probably see somewhere where it has HTML. Where is that HTML one? TXT. Well, I guess I can just extensions here. Extensions, file name, post. I don't see HTML, but I don't see anything that seems to be preventing us from being able to do something, like change it to something else. Okay, so since we know it's all PHP, right? We know it's a PHP server, technically speaking, right? So we can come back here to our repeater, and let's say we do a PHP here. And then we send this. I don't know if it's going to work well, but we'll see. Oh, there it is. Okay. So I got export PHP. And we're going to go to copy. Let's give it a try again here. And we see PHP seems to be working. So we're able to use PHP. Where could be the next step that we can think at this point if we're able to have PHP in place here? Anybody knows? What would be the next step that we got to think? We have PHP sort of execution here. What could we do to be able to help us out at this point? Any suggestions? What's one of the greatest thing about PHP that help us out being able to achieve how can I say that? I don't know if I'm gonna give the answer away if I actually say it. That's the only thing. But there's something out of it that we can actually use. Should probably disable that. Advance. Can I just do that now? Okay. I guess I could potentially use that, but that's not exactly the one I was looking for. PHP request a one-liner backdoor. Let's take a look what it does here. Oh, I don't want the whole thing. That's something like this. Is that the one? I need to check. Are you guys understanding where I'm going with this? Maybe not that. Somebody answer it over here? No? Okay, so I'll give probably the answer, almost a hint about it, right? So basically, what we're going to do here is some sort of PHP reverse shell. So when we use some commands in there, we're able to actually go further down the road, right? So we are able to basically like extract either files or something like that out of something specific. So what we're going to do is inject basically our code into it, right? Where we're going to be doing the what's it called? Um, Trying to go on, let's say, on the system and trying to see. So we could do a reverse shell and give it a try. So that's quite a possibility with the nickname thing, because it's asking for alphanumerical thing. Oh, my video keeps repeating. Just my video. Let me give me 1 second. If I refresh this, oh, it's only for you, Alex. Okay, good. Thank you for confirming that everything seems to be fine. So just refresh your page. It might be coming back. So maybe just a glitch for a second. All right, so let's keep going. Okay, so basically what I'm looking at doing is a like the $ underscore request. Yeah, no problem, Alex. That happens. I prefer somebody to tell me than just like people leaving and not coming back because it doesn't look like it's good or something like that. All right, so oh yeah, this one I just checked. Is there something else, like another one that could be a little bit better? Otherwise, we're just gonna create it. Do we have also the rev shell? That's another one I already showed you in the past, if you guys were here. So Mustafa, that's another way to understand, not to understand, but to get your tools sorted out, is to find those things too, right? So if we have PHP, we have PHP command. No, I'm not looking for a long one. I'm looking for like a short one. Potentially, no, not the gets. It's a little bit complex. Worst case scenario, we might be able to use that one, but there's a shorter one that can actually be used. I just don't see it right now, unfortunately. Because obviously, like if you have to copy and put that all of that down there into one place, it might be an issue for that one box. Sometimes like restriction can be very much a problem too, right? So I mean, like let's give it a try with this. That could be interesting, or maybe the one that I yeah. Let's go with the one I was actually like I had in mind already. It's not there. I'm not able to actually find it, but we can most likely just replicate that. Okay, so let's go back here to those roles. We don't need this, but in this point around, we're going to do a nickname. We're going to do again the equal thing, but it's going to be um, percentage 3D, okay, which is equal again. And the next thing we're doing is the PHP one, okay? So if you allow me just to go in my notes that I have and then just copy and paste it, because obviously, like when you have your OneNote or Sublime or anything else, I think that other people are probably using like Joplin maybe. They're all using like actual notes that you have to be able to access it, right? And then just go back there whenever you need it. So, okay, there we go. All right, so basically here, as you can see, we're missing one thing. This one. So we have PHP system, right? So we're using the function system within PHP and then do a request command, right? So basically it's going to give us a command shell, right? So then now we can just do a comma over here. And that's exactly how the nickname is going to be interpreted. So we're going to replace basically our name, which is Ottawa, for basically this, right? And then it's going to go further down. So let's give it a try with this and see how it goes. We might have to try a couple of things, tweak it. It's possible. I could even like come here and just like go over top and control U once, right? I could do that too. But sometimes it can create issues. So I'm going to try like this. If it doesn't go through, I'm going to go a URL encoding right away. Let's do a send. Oh, that's a error that we have here. Okay, so that's an issue. Oops. The other thing too, if it doesn't work, we're just going to put it at the end. Control U. We have another error. Okay, so whoops. There you go. Let's do that. Let's do Control X and put it at the end over here. A nickname, all that stuff. Oh yeah, it's maybe the comma was the issue. Okay, let's give it a try like this. Internal error. All right, let's see. Are we able to do a Control U here? Another internal error. Is it going to work with the equal? This time around, it could potentially work with the equal. Oh, it worked. So see, sometimes you have to try one thing, it's gonna work. You try another thing, it may not work. I mean, like I'm saying it works, but I'm not even sure yet. Your game has been saved. Where's that? Where's the page? Probably down here. Game has been saved. Oh, okay. Okay, let's see. Let's go back here. Proxy, it's off. Here, clicker. Oh, see, my name is gone. It's long gone. So now we're going to go to text and we're going to try to do the same thing like the PHP page that we've done earlier, right? So intercept on. Now we're going to go make sure it's on burp. Export. We know how it works. So we're just going to do PHP over here. We know we're not going to be stopped either. So let's do a forward. Now we know it has been exported over here. Copy. And then, okay, it's over here. We're going to put it on and just paste it there. Okay, so if you guys recall, when I did this, I had the, whoops, that's not going to work with the burp. Okay, so if you guys recall, when I did this, we had the CMD thingy in there. So let's go back into repeater and go back over here. And we see here PHP system and then request CMD. So basically right now, while we're not seeing anything that's under nickname, click, and level, it's because it's looking for this variable, right? It doesn't know, it's like it doesn't have any input. So it's basically not working at this point. So the way to be able to invoke this one would be to do a question mark, CMD, and then equal. And if I do ID and press enter, now I see I have remote code execution. Right. So at this point, I'm actually able to see what's there. Right. So that's a very good way to be able to get this one done. To go and get remote code execution. So the user Ottawa that we had, we replaced it with our code, which is the PHP one. And then by replacing it, now it's looking for a specific variable, which is CMD. For us, we know CMD is for command. Obviously, like it's a variable, so it's just looking for something to fill it in. So that's how we're able to go a little bit further at that point, right? So now we have remote code execution, and there's multiple things we could do. We have what XYZ that was saying we could do a remote shell. Well, obviously, like we have remote command execution, we could take a look. For example, if we have, for example, which NC, we could take a look at that. It doesn't seem that there is NC in there. Oh no, NC is there, so it's right here under this location. We could potentially do it. We have maybe which Python. So, whoops, Python is not there. And is there like a not found? 3. Okay. If I do, let's say pwd. Oh, did it? Oh, I hate when they do that. It's possible that the actual page got wiped out because there is like a self-healing thing. So let's take a look. Disable. Okay. I'm here. So see, it moved away. So there is something to be able to wipe it up. So whenever we do it, we're going to have to just like accelerate the pace, right? So I'm going to send it over there. I'm replicating basically what I've done in the past. Going down. Oh yeah, no, it's just saving it over here. It's still not on that. Let's take a look. Do we have? Okay, we may have to replicate this again. Oops. Your game has been saved. Requests. Okay, let's log out and see if we can log back in. So again, we went a little bit longer. So that might be the reason why it did not work. Or it kind of got away. So see, authentication failed. So basically our user got wiped out for that reason. So let's do it again real quick. We're going to go through the steps successfully. We can log in for sure with Ottawa. We are going to play, right? Then we come here, intercept, save and close. Whoops. We need to do this one. Burp, intercept on, save and close. And then now we have this. And the trick that we had was roll percentage 3D and then admin and then the comma there. So it thinks it's all in one thing, right? This part. If we do it a little bit further down the road, it may not work. That's something we could try, but right now at this point, there's no point really to try it. We're going to move forward. All right. So then this one, let's turn it off. Let's log out, log in, Ottawa, log back in. We have administration. Over here, what we need to do is, oh, I forgot. We had this other guy here that we need to also bring up a little bit further down. So we're going to go back to intercept again, intercept on, save and close. But this time around, what we're going to do here is, if you remember, it's like we need to give us a good score to show up onto that dashboard. And then we're going to click on forward. Forward. There we go. Are we now here? Yeah, now we're here. Okay. Well, I guess that's a good way for you guys to actually see how it's actually being done, right? Again, once more. So, no, that's this. So we could have done the other way around, but we're just going to do it again for practice. At the same time, we're just going to copy this part, which is the nickname. Control C. Go back to proxy here, and then Control V. Paste it there, and then forward it over there. Intercept off. So now we should see it's gone, right? We intercept this part on export. We change it to PHP. I'm hoping I'm not going too fast. I've got PHP over here, right? So now we're going to forward this. We have our page over here. Copy. And then go back here and just change the whole thing. Let's just change this. Because the rest Okay. Copy. Control V, enter, disable, enter. There you go. Okay, so now we have this. So we're gonna accelerate a little bit and then go further, right? So we can get in there. So our next step, basically, at this point, would be to do either a reverse shell, well, where we can actually do this. One of the things that we know, we have the bash, right? We have bash in there. So there's two things that we can do. If my mouse wants to show up again, that'd be great. Okay, good. So there's two things. One thing I like to do is obviously put it in the repeater, because if we put it there, sometimes it can be lost. It can have an issue. So just going to do a forward over here, and then a intercept, right? So I'm just going to press enter, and I'm going to make sure that it gets there. And then I'm going to show you just a little trick. So I'm going to put burp and come here, press enter, right? Take a look at that. So I see password, but if I right click and I change my request method, right? You see it goes to post. So it's another way to be able to just like change it if you need to. You don't need to change the whole structure and change everything else. So we're going to do a control V to the command I want to send. My IP address is 1428. So 1428. And then it's on port 9001. Okay. So NC L for listening. N, I think it's for DNS. V for verbose, and then P for the port. And we're going to go to 9001. Okay. And listen it. So if you take a look here on the left, and we do this here on the right, I'm just going to do a quick control U here just in case, which is encoding. And then we're going to do send it to repeater before it gets sent. So at least if there's anything that comes up, I can just do it again, like a send over here, and it should work. There we go. So now we were able to get access directly to the machine. So this is basically how you get your initial foothold into place. Obviously, we have www-data, right? So that's not the user that we are looking to be able to go further, but that's exactly what we need to be able to get at least a foot in, right? I see. I'll rewatch the speed run for sure. That's good. Perfect. So, I mean, this is coming with repetition, and then these things, as you get used to it, it's a little bit easier at that point. Okay, so next thing, first things first, as soon as you get a shell, the first thing I would say that you should do as much as possible. It seems that we have one, but I'm not going to take a chance, right? We're going to do a -C and then import pty and then pty.spawn and put in place /bin, whoops, dash, and then put that there. Okay. And then the next trick, I think I linked in, if you take a look into the Hack the Box Ottawa under the Linux related, or like the text channel and then Linux related, you're going to see exactly what I'm going to do, right? It's a little trick that people can actually develop to make it work. And if we do it, and then I just paste those commands, right? Pretty much the same way that it's displayed directly under that channel. Press enter, right? It's going to start this. Then Control Z, right? So basically, you put it in the background. Then after that, I do stty raw dash echo and semicolon and an FG for foreground. Okay. And then once I hit enter, you know what? I see it. There's a space. I don't think it matters, but I'll do it just regardless. I press enter. Ooh. I press enter and then press enter again. And now the beauty of it is if I do ls and I come back, I'm able to come back and I'm able to see my other commands that I've done in the past, right? So if I press the up and down arrow, it's working now, right? So it's a little trick to be able to get this one done and being able to move a little bit further down the road. It looks like more a complete shell at this point where you're going to be able to go further down, okay? So, but we still have an issue now. We're still under this guy where we need to find a way to be able to get out, or at least like go to another player. So we can do, let's say, a cat on Etsy, and enumerate the users. So we see we have Jack, which is 1000 RPC stat Laurel. So those one probably not. No login, been follows. So this one is actually a user on their home. We could go there. So let's take a look real quick. Let's go to home. Oh, see, I press on tab 2, it works. It knows it can go there. So permission denied. So we're not going to be able to get there. There's other stuff as well we could do. We could use a lin piece, right? That's another one we could use. Obviously, it's going to drive us down the road, like much further down. What else could we do? We could take a look for if there's anything into like specific places. Real quick. Sometimes we have stuff over here. Sometimes maybe here there's some stuff, because if you remember, we went there, but I don't think there was anything else that we could do. MNT, city backup. So it should be the same thing that we saw earlier. Yeah, so it's the same thing. So we don't really need anything there. Is there anything else in op? So we have what's it called? A bash. We have manage over here. We could take a look, but I'm very curious about this one here. So we can execute it. Well, only root can execute it, not us. Do we have anything with under sudo-l? I don't know. But monitor.sh could be interesting. But we're not going to, oh, yeah, sorry, my bad. It's root, so we can execute it. I forgot about it. Wow, I forgot. I got a blank for a second. So the first portion here is everyone, right? So everyone can read and then can execute. You cannot write. Here, it's the group. The group, which is root, can write, so not write, but read and execute. And the only user that can actually do whatever it wants almost, right? It's the root user, which is read, write, and then execute. So at this point, we know we can execute it, but we don't know yet what can we do with it, right? So we're going to do a copy and then do a cat at this point and just push it there, do a cat there. Okay, so we're seeing here that incorrect password attempt. No, that's fine. So bin bash, echo, please run as root. Okay. That's fine. So might be able to do that, but it's probably going to tell us that we need to run as root. Okay, let's give it a try. So monitor.sh, please run as root. Can we do sudo monitor.sh? No, we don't have the password for that. I do Control C. Okay, so that won't work. So we need sudo. So that could be potentially our next step, right? We're not sure yet, but that could be potentially our next step, because obviously if we're not able to run sudo, and we're not able to run, what's it called again? We're not able to run that command directly as root, because there's no sticky bit. And by the way, a sticky bit, if I show you real quick, it would be basically here, right? We would see a S, right? Like Sierra. So S would be here, and then it'd be for this monitor.bash. So if we run monitor.bash and there's an S, which call sticky bit, it means that we're running as root when we're running that monitor.sh. So if you're a sysadmin, or if you're a beginner hacker, that's something you want to take a look for, right? But in this case here, it's only an X, which means that whenever it's executed, let's say for us, it's just us, right? It's not going to be anybody else. It's just www-data at clicker and whatever. So, all right. Okay, so our next step that we can do is obviously we could try to look for privileges, right? So that's something as well we could do, and take a look if there's like anything else in there that could basically give us that sticky bit I was just talking about, right? Is there anything else? There's something that's called gut milk or something like that. There's a guy that used to work at, I believe, used to work for OffSec. I'm not sure 100%, so don't quote me there. But he made up like a very good, a very like it's a very good a repository of all the commands you could run. There's Actrix as well, which is another website that's, I think it's more updated, and you're going to get a lot more of the latest stuff in that location that could be very interesting to take a look at. So all those commands can be easily found, but also NPs would have done that. All right, so now we see this op manage execute query. Like we don't know exactly what this one is. We were in manage. So let's take a look at this one, because this one is also interesting, right? We do LSLA, and there's a little delay. LSLA. Okay. So it's LSLA. I need to be into manage LA, and then I see execute query, right? You see here the S, and that's Jack. So if we execute this one, we're basically executing as Jack. That's basically the same thing as that. There's a readme. It's you guys are hearing me well still? I'm still on my phone, so I just want to make sure everything is fine. Oh, shit. All right, so use the binary to execute the following task. So create the database structure and add user admin. Create fake players. Better not tell anyone. So, well, if it says that, it means that probably the reviews they had, it was probably fake ones. Reset the admin password, and then delete all user except the admin. So if we do this, and we do one, so we see that there is a hash here that could be potentially interesting, admin. So that's something we could take a look at. I'm not too sure exactly which hash this is. Let's go disable. Hash identifier. I think that's the one. Probably. SHA-256. So if we want to crack it, that's going to be this one. That's a little bit harder to be able to crack, but that's a possibility that we could take a look at later on. If we take a look here, we have 2. Okay, and then we have 3. So this one is for, that's admin's player set password. It's probably the same type of password as well. 4. Okay, using a password and command lines interface can be insecure. And then if I do 5, it's not an option, but it brings me here. Right? So another thing too we can do is, let's say we go to 4 because we know it works. For example, and do a strings and take a look at the binary and see if there's like anything that could be interesting out of that. So now we're looking for basically whatever could be useful. So we see it goes to home Jack query. So that's probably where I'm at. SQL. So you clicker DB user. So it's, oh yeah, that's right. We have the DB. Okay, thank you, Nick. So hopefully, if there's anything, I'll test out maybe in a few minutes. If you guys give me maybe a 5 minutes break soon, and then I'll test it again for a few minutes, and then see how it goes. Right? Probably I should change the banner. I just realized that we're going to a lateral move at this point. It says blue team over here, so just gonna have to wait. I'm probably going to run through a couple of things a little bit later. Obviously, our king would have been, but Steve, but he's currently sick, so unfortunately, that's what it is. But that's fine. We'll survive. All right. So we see here password, clicker DB password. So it seems to be the same thing as the other one, right? We have a little bit of information, but not a whole lot. There's also what's called S trace. If I press enter here, there's a lot more information. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Well, a little bit, much bigger. We see here execute op manage execute query. So that's where pretty much we are at. SUID debug. Debug. Is there anything that could be good? There's a bunch of return address. Maybe if we put it like in Gidra, that could help out. It says access home jack queries clean SQL. File not readable or found. So it seems that's, if we take a look here, file not readable or not found. It could be either that, or maybe it could be an injection that we could put ourselves in, right? Okay, let's take a look. So if we do that over here, let's say under 4, because I was under 4, and then I do, yeah, etc, because this one we know we can access it for sure, normally. Okay, so this one doesn't do anything special. But if I put at 5, file not readable or not found. So I kind of need to get the script to kind of fail and then go to the next one. So there's like nothing and decide to execute something else. We do recall he was trying to go to home jack queries, right? So if we're trying to access this, and let's say we want to go to etc, we need to go back 1, 2, and then 3 back, right? So basically // and then bang. So now we have execution at this point. What's it called? So okay, I know I'm a newbie, but I really everybody here can be interpreted as a newbie, even me, depending on who you talk to. There's people out there that are just like gods into this, so that's fine. You're doing great. But I really like it the best when we are in this screen stage. I feel like I understand more and more every time I come to one of those. So thank you. Well, you're very welcome. And that's Alba that talks about it. And then again, it comes down to the fact that how often do you see it and how often are you doing it, right? So all those things all together are going to reinforce everything all at once, right? And then eventually you're going to be much better to be able to keep going down the road. Okay, good. So over here, we're going to get, what we're going to do here is instead of being password, what can we do that could potentially help us out? We went to check for information. I know sometimes we have maybe the .ssh, right? That could be maybe interesting. And then ID underscore RSA. So see, look, that's another thing too to keep in mind is sometimes those keys are being built up, right? And it's not an issue, it's not a problem, and then you can take it. So because we're actually using it as Jack, and we have the sticky bit, right, of execute query. You can see here, and because I have the sticky bit, I can read this key at this point. Because if I do, and I do, let's say, cat home Jack, and then .ssh, and then we have ID RSA. You're going to see here permission denied, right? So I'm not able to see that it's there, what's actually in there, but I'm able to see it whenever I do the command. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this part, all together, do a copy, and then we're just gonna come here, cd clicker, and create a nano of jack.key, right? And now over here, paste it, Control X. We're gonna save it, enter, and then let's give it a try. We're gonna do and use that key. Okay, so SSH jack at clicker.htb. So that's how you're going to be able to get in there. We're going to use the jack key because we were able to steal basically his key at this point, the IDRSA, and then -I, which is which key we want to use, and it's called, like, we called it jack. Press enter, yes, and then it's asking us for a password. However, it says see, permission 0644 for jack key RT open. So it's too, like, it's not going to work for this. We're going to do a chmod 600. Oh, let's take a look. ls-la. We see jack, right? So everybody can read it. But if we do a chmod of 600 on jack, right, and do another LSLA, see? Now only Malvik basically can actually read this file. Not everyone can read the file. So this is the difference in between the two. We go back here and then we press enter. Invalid format. Oh, there's probably something wrong with it. Nano jack. Okay, so one of the things that I'm seeing right now is, like, if you take a look here, there's not the same amount of dashes. Normally there is like 5 on each side. So let's take a look. Oh, it's not going. Dash dash. Is that the same thing at the bottom? Yeah, so it seems that it's the same thing at the bottom. It's missing dash dash. Control X. Yes, for saving it. Enter, because that's the one we want to save. Then we press enter. And then boom. Is it the right one? I think that's the right one. And on. All right, so now we're actually inside the machine using a stable shell, which is called like the SSH. Whoops, that's the wrong one. I wanted the other one over here. Perfect. So now we're here, and that's what we can do. So if we do, let's say ls-la, right? We're going to see user, cat user. So this one, even if you decide to copy it, it's not going to make any difference because they're dynamic, right? So it won't be applicable to you. You have to use the same machine, and it has to be attached to you and all that stuff. So there's no point in copying it. But if you go and do all the steps I just showed you to be able to get there, you're going to get a different code. You just copy it and then paste it into your box, right? Which is right here. And then you submit the flag. Yours is going to be a little bit different with the enterprise version. I don't have the enterprise version in here. Oh, I have it here. Yeah, but it's a different place. So either way, so that's what it is. If you're basically on the other version, this one is because I'm using VIP Plus to be able to show it to you here. Good, perfect. So now we have initial access to be able to get in there. Is there any questions so far? As far as we went, I know there was a couple, but is there any other questions to be able to reinforce the whole thing here? Because obviously there is things that we have to consider about security, right? And now if I go back over here and I change that little banner on top, and then we get to, whoops, the blue team. What does the blue team needs to do to make sure that we are secure with some of those vulnerabilities that we've seen? Some of those things that allowed us to go further, right? Because obviously this is a problem, right? This is a big problem. Do we have some suggestions here from people? It might be a little bit harder, obviously, because it's um, not easy 100%. Especially the blue side, I would say it's more complicated to than the red team side. The red team is cooler though. When you get to do these things and then you find that little piece of puzzle and then you press enter and it worked, you just celebrate at this point. Oh, we got Kid Quick today. He's typing. Do I have anybody else in the on YouTube? Remove the sticky bits from that binary. Yes, we need to find a way to be able to make it work without a sticky bit because anybody can use it and try to find a way to actually exploit that. That's a very good point. It's hard to tell exactly how you can do it. Obviously, like if we go under that one specifically, we could check a little bit further and then see what else could be done. Are we still there? Okay, no, this one. No, I don't want to. So I guess I don't really need to see Nick though, right? There was not much that was telling us. I will just close this one because I don't need it anymore. This one I don't need it either. Okay, so that's the one here. So the thing is, because we're able to do it as trace, if we would have been able to transfer that file over on Gidro and then analyze it and see exactly what's going on, there's a big possibility that we could have like figured that out as well, right? It's not because it's a binary that necessarily we're not able to see what's going on in the back end. So it is what it is, right? There is the compiler, and then eventually you can reverse engineer exactly what's going on with that binary. Sometimes you can even figure it out that there is a buffer overflow within it, right? So that could have been something we could have tried as well. It's trying to see if there's a buffer overflow, put like a bunch of different characters alongside with MSF Venom / Metasploit, right? And then see exactly where it breaks and then finding that out. And then after that, crafting our own payload and all that stuff and put it in there, get a reverse shell, and then bang, we're that person at that point, right? So that would have been a way to do some sort of binary buffer overflow at that point. So yes, so that's something we would need to check at this point because there is something that's in there, even though it's hard coded, we're able to navigate, which is bad at that point. Nick, creating specific user account per app services. So if it gets hijacked, there is less chances to find a magical monitor.sh file or other executable file. We could, at this point around, let's say OPT could be hidden from any user but the specific users. And at the same time, we need to be careful because obviously those users, if they have access somewhere else, or if we're able to do, let's say, PSAUX, right? And we press enter. We could have potentially find something in here that could help us out, right? Deciphering or understanding what's going on. Maybe there's like a password hard coded here, but that's weird. There's no whole lot. Is that only for this one? It should not. We do here a PSAUX. Whoops. X. So it's just showing for us. I would need to probably do a little bit digging because normally that's what I enter and then I get like a bunch of stuff. In this case, it seems to be configured to show us only ours, right? But that could have been something we could have done. So if, for example, that's .monitor.sh is there is a software. Let's go take a look. That's right. That's right. PSPY. I think that's what it is. 64. Download. Let's give it a try. That could be very interesting. I don't know, Nick, if you want to see it, but we still have a little bit of time. Not so much, unless you guys want to hang out even more. That's totally possible too. PSPY. Can I download it? I'll download. There we go. Well, that's the raw file. I don't know if that's going to be an actual binary at that point. Let's go take a look. Put it on Clicker. And then, so we have Clicker. So yeah, just a slight reminder, if you guys want to get access to this machine here, Clicker, and do it on your own or follow along, Obviously, like if you just joined, it might be a little bit harder to follow along, but that's still possible. You just have to go into our Discord channel where you're going to be able to get the channel says server requests and just ask and request access. If it's your first time, you're going to get an actual code. If it's your second time joining, like in the last, I would say 5 months, you can just give your username that you actually entered when you join in, right, onto the enterprise version. And once you get that, you get access to the enterprise version, and then you can hack away. So, all right. So let's go take a look. Let's go to Clicker and just make sure it works, right? Because that's something that you don't really want to transfer if it doesn't work. Okay, we need to do a chmod. I'll just put it 7.7. I don't really care. That's not the best practice, right? Don't do that. Normally, if you're into an environment where there's other people, this one, as soon as I close it, is going to revert, and it has no access to my machine. All right, so /PSPY. Is it working? Permission denied. So let's do sudo. Is that going to work? It's not dying. All right, I'll kill it. Close terminal. Clicker, and then sudo PSPY 64. Okay, so now if I come here, see, there's stuff that's opening. LS, is that going to show here? PS. Oh, there's errors. So maybe this one's not going to work with my machine. So we'll give it a try on the other one, but PSPY would have been one to work with. So give me a second. It's just unfortunate that it seems to be bugging a little bit, but we're gonna give it a try. So let's use our machine over here. We have NC. We're gonna do VNP, right, on ports. Let's say 443 at this point, and we're gonna send our file PSPY. Am I the right place? Hold on. Okay, no. Clicker, and then NC LVNP 443, and we're going to send the PSPY64 over there. So press enter. Okay, it's denied, so we need to do sudo. Enter. And over here, can I just make it a little bit smaller for everyone to see? We're going to see the difference here. So NC, let's go to temp. NC dash NV. And now we're going to go 10, 10, 14, 28, which is my IP address, right? On port 443. And now we are going to output the file. So the first one that we had, that's over here, right? We are going to take this file and put it in here. So you see here, it's like smaller than, it goes in here. So it's pointing that way. This one here, it's basically because we are taking what information we have over here, which is greater than, and then we're going to put it exactly where we want, which is here, PSPY 64. Let's give it a try with this. And we see here, like the connection happened. Now it's succeeded. I press Control C, and that's fine. As I'm doing this, is there any other way we could have been able to transfer a file? Let's say this one with Netcat would not work. Is there any other ways of being able to do this? Okay, so LSLA. We have this. We do a chmod 777 and PSPY 64. Okay. And then now let's do a PSPY 64 and see if there's anything that's being run. Oh, there we go. So we can take a look at what's running. So now we see the user ID at 1000. We see PSPY 64, bash. Is there anything else? Like we might be able to see the actual script that's being running, right? So you remember when I had the hacker user or even the Ottawa user when I was explaining things and it was taking time? Well, that's exactly what was going on. So in this case here, we're just waiting to see if there's activities, right? So the SPY just listen in onto anything that will happen. Maybe I can check. Oh, let's see. Take a look. Let's take our other. Oh no, this one. This one was it under. Okay, it's under Jack. So I'll probably still have my other one. Yeah, I still have it. So if we move it here and we do, let's say, a which Python 3, are we going to get something? Okay. And then if I do Python 3 and then the module HTTP dot is it dot server? I think so. On ports, I don't know, 4444. Yeah, so let's see where what happened there. Are we able to see it? Oh, hold on. Okay, we're gonna go manually. Reading identify buffer reading from. So it seems that there is an issue here. It's probably not working with this one. Yeah. So, I mean, you understand that would have been potentially a way to find it, but it seems that this one is creating an issue. But for some other machine, that was a way for us, for example, to figure it out. Oh, there's actually a cron job running, right? And it's running on the root, and it's trying to pull this file. So this file, you know what? I'm able to actually modify this file, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go modify the file and get a callback, like a bash callback to my computer, and then I'll be able to get it done. So that's feasible. So I don't have people here that's mentioned other ways of being able to do it. I basically just presented another one. I'm looking at YouTube and I'm looking at the Discord channel. I don't see anybody else that provided another potential solution. So if I do, let's say, echo test file, right? And I'm put it as text dot txt. So the file should be there, right? If, for example, I'm listening in over here on port 4443 and I want to get the test.txt, I'll put it's a little bit different, but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's going to get there, right? I do this. I could do it a little bit differently. If I can remember, I think it's dev. Oh shit. What was it again? I think it's dev TCP 10, 10, 14, 28. And then we have the port 4443. 443, I would say. And can we send, let's say, test.txt over there? No such file. There's something we can do with it. I forgot, but we can do it with this for sure. Now, the other way around that I was talking about is basically we could have on our server, right? Because this is where I'm at right now. I do my Python 3, right? And I have, let's say, module http .server over here on port 44, let's say 44. There we go. So now I have my server over here, and I could have, let's say, for example, curl, right? Curl. Basically, I get the file that I want from there, sorry, curl 10, 10, 14, 28. And then I go on port 4444 and I take a look and I see that there is files, the files that we actually move there, right? So there's a way to do that. The other way we could have gone, or let's say we have a file there that we want, let's say the Jack key, for example. I mean, like, I don't know why we would transfer it back over here, but it's just for the sake of learning over here. So I got Jack in this place, and I'm going to do the output as, let's say, Jack2.key, right? I can do that. I can rename it the way I want. It doesn't matter at the end. And then if I press enter, we're going to see it downloaded. And oh, that's a 404. I said jack.jack, jack.key. enter. There we go. So now I have the 200. Right? So technically speaking, it should have worked. And then if I do LSLA, I should see the jack.key here, 2062, to 602. That's good. Perfect. And I could have used wget. Same thing, right? However, wget, I don't need to put the output because it's going to do it directly, right? So that's another tool that we can use, wget. And then now we can actually go get the file. And as you can see here, we got it again, right? So that's another way that you can actually do it once or twice and get it done. So if I do LSLA, a little bit above, we had the jack.2, jack2 key, right? That's the first one I sent. And now if I do LSLA, I have also this one. And we can see there's a little bit of difference in between the two. So we know it works, right? So that's another way. And that's why I'm saying, like, at this point, the more you practice, the more you're going to see different tools you're going to be able to use. And if one doesn't work, because let's say you're used to use curl again, somebody called me and that disconnected me from here. So that's the reason why. I should have put it on the what's it called, do not disturb. I'm presenting. All right, sounds good. So we still have the same amount of people. I apologize again for this. I have issues with internet, so I have to use my phone currently. So I apologize for that. Oh, certutil.exe. That's a very good point, Drew. But this one works for Windows. Yeah, that works. That's a very good one. So okay, let's do this here. Let's just restore back my session real quick, because whenever you get out, it gets out, but it's easy enough to get back where we were. All right, so I apologize again. Like I said, my internet is down. Using my phone. Good. All right, so if you guys never took this one a note, what Drew Ross wrote down, like Mustafa, I know you were asking about different things. That's one of the command you would like to have into your arsenal at this point. Because if you ever need to download or get something done, get something transferred, that's a very good one. There's many others, obviously, but that's one of them. That I think it's always there pretty much. If you have access to PowerShell, at least one of the latest PowerShell, you can also use just curl. That's another one that's, for whatever reason, I'm not too sure, but it's included into PowerShell now. So you use curl the same way that you would use the rest of your stuff. So, but if it's not available, and then you try other tools and so on, that's something you can use. I think you have another one that you can invoke, which is like IEX. No, I can't remember. I need to find it. That's all in my tools at this point too. But I don't have it with me handy, unfortunately. But feel free if you guys want to. There is a Windows related commands that can be easily copy and pasted into that place on Discord. So if you go to that channel there, you paste it there, it's going to be usable by everyone basically. And that's what I want to try to do, is like anything that can be very interesting, we put it in there. I'm thinking about, I think I had a Mimikatz one. So as soon as I can get my hands on it again, I'm probably going to copy and paste everything from Mimikatz in that location to be able to experiment and then make sure that everybody can take advantage of that, right? So yeah, so basically, if we recap, on the blue team side, we talked about different little things that we can do here and there to be able to protect us. We talked about the sticky bit. We talked about the fact that we should probably maybe like try to secure our stuff. But we looked with PSPY. Obviously, in this case, didn't work the way we really wanted it. But it could have been potentially a way, right, to get information out of that. This box did not allow us to do it. But trying to hide it from everyone else could be another step, but does not mean it will prevent everyone to from there. If we do, let's say, a cron tab, I think it's cron tab. For whatever reason, I have a blank. This one does not have any cron tab either, right? So basically, that's what it is. We could take a look as well for other users. Sometimes it can be useful to understand what's being run in the background. Obviously, if we don't have access to PSPY, that could be one of those things. But if you put PSPY in there and then there's an antivirus or something of that sort, it might get picked up too. So If you need to be able to be discreet as much as possible, that might be one thing you may want to avoid if needed. So either way, good. Thank you very much for sticking out with us. It's very appreciated, and keep the comments going, like Drew, MP, Nick, XYZ. Very appreciated. And on the other side, also with on Discord, you got Kid Quick removed. Yeah, so you said remove the sticky bit, so that was one thing. So yeah, good. I appreciate it. There's oh yeah, lateral back. And I think for you, yeah, congrats. That's right. You got I think you got your CISSP, your actual cert, which is insane. So congrats. Perfect. All right, so let's move on to the rest of it. Obviously, the goal is to hack the machine, and then if you guys want to hang out even more, we can do it for sure. So let's do it. Oh, this one is just like rocking it. The process. Let me take a look at the process. PSPY is just like killing it. So I kind of killed it, but not necessarily. 120% of the CPU and process, please. Kill process. Maybe I'm going to use it with the command prompt. 400%. Okay, good, good, good. I mean, like that was that was insane. Know how to write an exam so far. Still learning from all of you. Yes. And you know what? I'm still learning from everybody else. Even though people are young and just starting in, I'm learning from them too. So we never stop to learn. All right, let's do it. All right, so the thing is, we saw a script earlier that we could potentially use. Are we able to do a sudo -l, right? Oh, see? So now we have opt monitor sh. That's we can use it as root, right? So let's go take a look at again what we were able to see. Yes. We're not here to tell people that we're the best. We're here to tell people that we're all learning together as a community. So it's much better. And that's what we want to try to do. And by the way, maybe a little note I could say we have 8 people right now on the stream. We like the Ottawa Meetup is actually creating a team to go on uh, the Hack the Box Apocalypse. I think that's what it is. Apocalypse CTF. So if you want to sign up, we still have some position, right? So make sure you let me know. I'm Malvik into the like the admin, the server admin in the Hack the Box Ottawa Meetup on Discord, and then just like reach out to me, let me know that you want to join, and then we're going to try to get you in. I'm trying to get 20 people as much as possible all together into one team. Technically speaking, you don't need to be directly in Ottawa to be in here, but if you're around, we're probably going to canvas and try to figure it out with people if we're going to do it in person or a mix of in person and then also outside. So just so you know, there's people right now, I would say, that are 5 and 6 hours away from here on, what was it called again? Oh, I forgot the name of it. Like, fuseau horaire, that's what it is in French. Like on Earth, they're like in Europe, basically, right? I forgot the name of it in English. Sorry about that. But it's basically like they're 5, 6 hours ahead of us, and they're going to be part of the team regardless. And I don't mind. I want to try to make sure as much as possible that we are taking advantage of that. And I don't know if we're going to be the first one to actually do it. That's a very good question. But yeah, if you want to join the team, it's going to be March 9th up to March 13th at 9 a.m. if we take Eastern time here in Ottawa. That's basically what it is. So if you're able to attend 4 days, that'd be great at that point. I know it's also March break for some people here in Ontario, but there's a lot of chances to be able to learn out of that. And there's prizes. There's up to $69,000 worth of prizes also. So something to keep in mind. Doesn't mean we're going to get it, but hey, why not? Why not giving it a try and then learning from each other? And if we do well, there is also another CTF that's going to be coming up, and I'm going to be building up a team up to 30 people if it's still the same rules as last year. And if you guys want to join in and you're performing and all that, I wouldn't mind trying to invite you guys into the team as well at that point, and then we get to experiment and go even further, right? So yeah, let's keep going, and then let's get all together to be able to go like much further down the road and help each other out and have fun, right? So that CTF is not there to just compete and then yell at each other or something like that. We're there to have fun and help each other. Last summer when we did the CTF, we barely knew each other, right? And we were trying to figure it out, like what are the strength of each other. And then eventually I realized there's one guy who was just like cracking the hell of a crypto. I was like, how did you do that? It's just like it's insane sometimes when you see like other people you didn't think they had the skills to be able to do it, but they are able to do stuff you're not able to. So that's how you can contribute as a team. And then next on, we decide to move together on the next machine, and like we were bouncing back and forth ideas, and we went through the next challenge super fast. So it's very very fun, very rewarding to be able to work together into a team. The only thing is with this is you're not going to be able to get pull box like we have here. You're just going to be able to get, let's say, your machine, if I can remember, your VM, and then connect through OpenVPN, right? So that's how you can do it. Obviously, it's all free, but you need to be able to install it. If there's anything, any issues or what's not, you let us know into the general channel, and then we'll try to help you out if that's something that you need help with. So either way, Shadow Profeth, well, awesome events. You're welcome. Thank you for being here as well. Much appreciated. Anybody else that we can grab, we're going to try to do it as much as possible. And then anybody that wants to join, it's free, right? It's all free. And then even though it's Ottawa Meetup, Ontario, doesn't matter, or Canada if you prefer. It doesn't matter. I don't mind if you're from another country. Let's joining and have fun and join the server, Discord server, and come on in. Yeah, find out that there's somebody from Jerusalem sometimes to join in. There's another person from Serbia as well joining in. So it's just to let you know that we're not trying to just like be that little local one only. If we can grow up, that's even better at that point. So, all right, sounds good. So thank you very much. That was me talking here. So let's move on to that next step. We have about half an hour to be able to get there. Depends on how far or how fast we go. Might be fast, might be slow. We'll see. Okay, so now we learned earlier that we needed to run it as root, right? And when we do sudo -l to try to look for privileges, we find out that here, this script, we can run it as root. So now we know that this script is most likely our point of entry now to be able to become root, right? So that's one thing. And we see here we have the echo, we have curl over here, right? So curl that's going to take something. So it's trying to go to .htb, diagnostic.php, tokens, secrets, and so on. Okay, so that's what it's using. So if we, like for us, if we actually go there, what does it show? Does it show anything interesting? Well, it'll show us something interesting. Data. I don't know if we were supposed to see this, technically speaking. Let's say we would have done just an enumeration. Let's take this one out over here. So yeah, I don't think we would have been able to see it. So it would have been hard to figure it out later on. But we see a bunch of different information. So if you're able to just like enumerate, use FUF, like who said that earlier? That was Nick. Yeah, Nick said FUF to be able to just like go a little bit around and trigger things here and there, do some fuzzing. Maybe we could have find out that information. But here, to be honest, if you see this and it's front facing to the internet, and you know that you need a little bit of information to be able to get this, even though diagnostic.php is accessible, maybe this part where I had it highlighted is not necessarily known, I would say this is already a problem. It should not be displayed from the outside, right? At all. So some tools that you can use in place to be able to do that. There's basically, let's say, a WAF or something like that, where all the information, for example, you get credit cards that goes through it, right? So there's a specific pattern. Well, basically, that device would identify that on the way out and erase information straight up, right? So basically speaking, for me right now, being on the outside, I should not see any of this, and it should have been erased, right? So that web application firewall would have been able to prevent something like this to be shown automatically, but it needs to be configured properly, right, to be erased. And if you're not sure, well, you go through the logs and then you see, erase, block erase, I think they call it, erase block. I think that's one of those events. And you can see that's actually blocked, and you know that technically speaking, you should not see anything. But that's a big problem if you see it on the outside from here, right? So that's epoch time. So you see, sorry, my language, apologize. You see the epoch, and then you see the date. So if you need to, you see even like the date there, that's probably UTC, 1:30 UTC. Can we see 1:33 UTC? So that makes sense. So we can basically understand that there is potentially big issue with it, right? Because I could potentially synchronize myself with it, right? So if I synchronize and I need, let's say, a cert, or I need to have the same exact same thing, now I can use this tool to be able to synchronize the whole thing together. So I would try to avoid this for sure. All right, so let's keep going on the rest of these things. I got that. All right. So URL, it's going to do this. So if I just like, let's say, do a copy and then I paste it here. I do that just like this. Do I get the same thing? Yeah, we're getting the same thing. So we're getting information out of the server. Is that the same time? Should not be the same time. No, it's not. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to try to use curl and get here. The other thing that we have above, we have set env, which is set environment. So one of the things that we could do, like normally the way we were running, it's like basically sudo. Did I copy it? Okay, I copied the whole thing. Let's do sudo, and then am I in the right spot? I'm not in the right spot. opt. I think it's just there. Yeah. Okay. So, okay. So if I do this, I see this is the whole path. It's an absolute path, right? If I don't see this and I just see this, that's not an absolute path. So you could try to trigger something out of it, right? Because it's not saying. So basically, if I do sudo and I know I'm into monitor, technically speaking, it might block me from being able to actually run it as sudo. Okay, but this time around it worked. Okay, so that happens sometimes. It could be an issue that you could actually exploit. Does it behave differently? No, it behaved the same way. Okay, let's give it a try like this. Okay, so since we're able to change the environment and environment variable, what we're going to do now is HTTP underscore proxy equal. What's our IP address? I think that was 10.10.14.28, right? And I'm going to go to port 8080. And the reason why I'm saying this is because we're going to use our friend here. Proxy. We're going to intercept over here. But this one is supposed to intercept only on the local port. So we go to option, right? We go and select this one because we see here it's a local host, 127.0.0.1. We can do edit or we could do add, right? I'm going to do an edit here in this case. Doesn't matter to me. Obviously, like you may want to be careful with it if you use that. We're going to open it up. So to all interfaces, right? So it's just going to be like wide open. And we can see here we're prompted with an alert. This will enable other network users to use a proxy, which is fine. That's exactly what we're looking for. Fail to start, check whether another service is running. Hold on. Intercept. Do I need to do this first? Is it running now? Yeah, it's probably running. It's probably I needed to turn it off and turn it back on. All right, so now intercept on. and give it a try like this. Not counting Perl. Do we have other issues? 1 second. Whoops. Just want to make sure we're doing it right? Because that's something that we should be able to exploit at this point. We just need to make sure we do it properly also. But that thing there should be able to get it. HTTP, no. Is that the right? That should be in the right place. Monitor. So now is it that thing here? No. Negative repeat count. Oh, would you know the difference between export variable equal data and set environment? Well, this one we're setting the environment for that specific thing. I'm not sure if you could actually do it if you decide to use that, because right now we're basically just pushing it to that one because we can set the environment as we're pushing it for that specific thing. So that could be it. I would need to do a little bit more research on this. I don't know if anybody else has the actual answer in here. That's a good question for sure. Either way, now let me see. I'm missing out on something here. HTTP // 8080. Whoops, I got the one thing here. No proxy. Oh, enable. There we go. Okay, that's the reason why. There we go. It's just it was disabled, so I had to re-enable it. There was a button over here. But Nick, thank you for the question. And then probably if we take a couple minutes and you stick around, we can do a little research and try to find this out. I'll just take a little note here. Perfect. All right, let's move on. Okay, so now we have this get diagnostic PHP token. So the same thing here, but it goes through our server through the proxy. Okay, and we see it's hanging as well at the bottom. So it's still waiting for us to be able to do something. So if we do it forward, I mean, that's all we get over here, then comes back. And that's XML, right? What if we do the same thing again? And what we do here, where I'm at the page in the back, I do right click, go to do intercept the response to this request. So basically, I'm going to intercept the response that's here, right? Basically what I'm going to do. And I do it forward, and then bang, I'm seeing the XML thing. Now, the next step that we need to figure it out is how we're going to do it, right? There is something called the XXE exploit that will basically be the XML external entity injection. Do we have and C hack tricks? That's another one I was talking about. That's very interesting. So can we see an actual example here? Okay, so that's an example here that we could potentially use. All right, I think so. XXC and entity. So basically, it will read the file etc password, right? And then put it into XXE, and then this here will basically read it. And we should be able to get basically the same thing as that. So let's give it a try with this. So, okay, that's not the right one. Jack here, and now we need our burp suite. Okay, so we come back here. Whoop. We're just going to erase the whole thing there. Control V. Entity file etc password. Okay, let's give it a try. etc password cannot load file etc password. Maybe it's a little bit different than the one I need to do. That happens sometimes. So I press right click, but if it doesn't work, it can click also on actions here. And do it forward. So V, is that because there's too many forward slash? File, let's give it a try again. Okay, maybe that one does not work specifically. I mean, like we're trying a couple of things. Let's go here. This one to hack tricks. Huge resource. So Tor place. That's not exactly what I'd like to do. Okay, so this one. Okay, I don't know what happened there. This one is fairly similar, but it says data. So that could be a little bit different than the other one we were actually using, right? So let's do this and that. Let's try again. Same thing. Right click, do intercept, response to request, and then let's do a forward. We have our XML over here. Copy the whole thing, paste this, and see if it works. I think I'm missing some. Oh, no, there we go. Perfect. So now we're able to read an actual file. So the other one was just a little bit different. That's the reason why it was not actually working. Maybe if we would have tweaked it a little bit, would have been fine. But this case around, unfortunately, there was an issue. So what would be the next point that we could do if we do this? Right? What can we read? Explode variable is shell command where such environment is a programming function or something. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Thank you very much. I think you're right. It's better explained this way. But either way, I'm gonna double check again just to make sure. But I think you got it. That's Velo Citrezi, I think. Sorry if I butcher your name. uh, all right, so let's do this again. So what could be a good file to go take a look for? Like right now, if we do again, do the intercept, we know we can read one specific file. What would be the next file we should take a look? That one I'm going to let you think about it a little bit, right? There is shadow file. We could take a look at it. Why not? And while at it, what could we do with the shadow file? Kid quick. So if we do this, and we see this, what can we do with it? And that's interesting. I don't even see root. Oh no, root is there. Never mind. Oh, you're not sure. Anybody can help a friend? There's. Does this represent something special? And this too. What could we do with this? Crack the hashes. Yeah. And you know what's the best thing about it? Is like right now, I found this. I just copy, paste it, and crack it on offline. I don't need to try to crack it through SSH because I'll get discovered, right? So if a hacker is able to get a hold of the hashes, it will go offline, connect a bunch of like, let's say 4090s all together, and then start cracking it. That's exactly right, Nick. That's exactly what would be happening at that point. If they're extremely complex, that might not result to anything. At this point, we're not going to try to crack it. We're using a machine that can barely breathe, right? So I'm just going to keep it as such, and that's fine. But that's something that could have been done for sure to move further down. So pretty good, pretty good. Is there any other files that we could take a look at? But that was a good suggestion here. It's possible that the password is salted. It's quite possible. But I don't know for sure. We can probably just try to take a look. You remember the hash identifier that I had here? Search again. And we go here and then press this, submit. Possible algorithm. Yes, crypt. So can we decrypt the hash? Yeah, I don't know if we're going to be able to decrypt it, but so okay, invalid captcha. Okay, didn't ask. Oh, it was right there. Either way, so we could try to check online, look online. Probably look. I closed the wrong page, but either way, no big deal. Google.com could also sometimes do this. Control V, and then this, and try to see if there's anything. Oh, see, it says clicker. Like the box. So potentially there's something in there. I don't know if it would give us exactly the actual password, but that's potentially what it is. If that's the only password, aren't salted hashes.com added to the arsenal. Yeah. So all these stuff are very interesting. So yeah, good. Anything else that you guys might think of that we could exploit? So we're going back again to where we were over here, and also our burp suite. So if you guys remember, I'm just going to start it again, right? I think we're intercepting right now. Yeah. We're going to do it again. Right click, do intercept, response to this request. Forward it. And now we have a little bit of time because I got to go get that. Um, Maybe I should have write down the hack tricks. Oh, it's right there. Uh, Drew Ross, I'm not sure. He says keys. Oh, keys maybe. What keys you're talking about? I think I know which one you're talking about, but I don't want to talk for you. Let you a second to answer this. Let's go back here. Control V. Okay. IDRSA. Which one? Jack? We already have Jack. We'll get there. We'll get there. Do we have another suggestion? Well, not another suggestion, but well, I think we're refining Drew's idea. Again, I'm quite sure I know what he means. Takes a couple seconds to get there, I guess. Drew. So I got ID RSA. That's all I know right now. Maybe somebody else can give him the answer. Maybe he just left for a second. We're so close. Which ID RSA are we looking for? A root. Yes. I didn't see Russ, but yeah, Kid Quick, you're right. So there we go. Root. So let's give it a try with this. So now we forward. Let's bring back our thing over here, and let's see what's happening. Let's see the magic. ID RSA. Is there an issue with it? Because that one should work. Give me a second. Because if we're able to see the what's it called, the shadow file, we're certainly able to paste. Yeah, certainly able to see that one too. So let's see. Oh yeah, yeah. I just realized I forgot one thing. .ssh.id RSA. That was my mistake. All right, so we got this all together. We're good to go. Or maybe not. Did I do a mistake again? Control V. So you want to go to root /.ssh/ID RSA. Let's say I copied this. Well, let's say instead of, oh no, I don't have a choice. I need the whole thing to go through. So I'm going to copy it. It should be good if I just copy it like that and just paste it afterwards. Let's put it on the notepad over here. Okay, let's forward it. Oh, there we go. I did another mistake after. So we have 5 dashes, and I think we have 5 dashes in the other one as well. At the bottom. Yep. Control C. Let's go back to that's the one. That's fine. Let's exit out of there. At this point, PWD, we are under clicker. So nano root.key and paste everything here. Control X, Y, and then press enter. So Y to overwrite and then enter this one. And now we do a chmod 600 on the root key, right? And then we do SSH root at clicker.htb. And we use the key, which is called root.key to be able to get there. And then we're root at this point. That's exactly how the intended way was to be able to get there. But there's another way, right? So let's take a look real quick. The fact that we are able to take a look at the LSLA, can do a cat on root, and then we can see that code. Again, that code is not meant to be copied. It's what's it called? Dynamic, basically, and it's only attached to this machine. So if you're not on this machine, you're not going to be able to actually use it. And then now you could actually go back to your system and then paste it there on the enterprise system and paste it there. And that'd be good to go. All right. So there's another way that we can actually get to root. And that's basically through this again, right? However, we're going to use stuff a little bit differently, right? If you guys can recall, I'll just do a cat for now. If you guys can recall, we have the onset Perl 5 and onset other lib, right? So there is two other variables that we could actually use that are basically like super bad, right? So if we decide that we want to do it, we could actually do it, right? So I'll just show you a little bit more. I'm not going to ask you to answer this question because this one could be potentially a little bit harder. And even for me, I'm going to take a look from notes to be able to get it there. So Perl, and we have 5, and then OPT. All right. So that's basically the variable. The options that we're going to use for this variable. And then we go to Perl. I believe it's 5 dB for debug, right? And then this one there, we're going to do an execute. So basically, what we would do, is it a bash? Or just a Perl? I think it's just a Perl. So exact, okay. And then inside there, the opposite. Single quote, exact. And then double quotes. Here we're going to do a chmod. And then U. So U plus S, I believe. And then bin dash. We close this one, and then we close the other one. Okay, so just to give you an idea of what we're going to do, or what the intention of this is, we're going to execute this command, right, in the back. So basically, we'll do the chmod, all users, right? We'll be able to basically use this as a sticky bit, right? And then bin bash. And it's basically going to put it as a again, like I said, the sticky bit. So basically, once we decide to use bin bash, it's going to be using it for us, right? So if we press enter here, it does. Oh, statement unlikely be reach. Schmod. Did I do the right thing? Perl 5 dB OPT. Perl 5. That should be good. Let's give it a try just in case. Bash. Well, we could have used just like, let's say bash probably, and then dash piece to retain the privileges. Oh, there we go. So see, now we are root. Who am I? ID. Okay, so we see here that's I'm saying we're root, but it's the EU ID. But to be completely root, there's a little extra thing we need to do. I have it again under the Linux relay channel. So I'm just gonna copy and paste it from there, and you're gonna see exactly what it is. Just need to put a Python 3 there because obviously that's the little difference. Paste. So Python 3. Okay, so we see import pty os suid 0 and then the set gid 0. So basically that's what we are going to bring is those two to 0. And then it should match the whole thing afterwards and give us the exact shell that we're looking for. There we go. And an ID. Now I'm root all the way through. Right. So that's the unintended way, but that was a way to be able to get it done. So basically, you just needed to get those variables and not care at all about the monitor.sh. So that's it. Can we do? Does that work? You guys hearing it? Oh, there we go. I think you guys hearing it a little bit. I think there's. Oh, that screen. That's the wrong one. So earlier you guys didn't say anything, so that's the applause. Okay, I need to get used to it. It was I think it was screaming, right? But it's supposed to be the this one where applause about it. So yeah, good to go. So to be able to again to prevent anything from being able to basically screw your organization, to be able to protect against that would be to initially do not allow to set environments, right? Plain and simple. Set environments is basically a no-no because if somebody is able to get to that user, that's a big issue. Even though you think this user is protected, there's nothing else, there's potentially lateral move that could be done, right? Ultimately, right? So that's something you need to be extremely careful and you should probably avoid. And again, those things with scripts, you need to protect them a little bit more than this for sure to be able to get there. So do I have any questions anywhere? No, I don't see any questions in YouTube. I don't see any questions in Discord either. Are you guys trying it right now? Is there anybody trying to go through the progression and has some issues? I think I can see if there like how many people do we have that are actually using it. We have 2 people right now trying to get in there. So there's 2 other machines as well. So I mean, like Clicker is one of them, and there's Arctic, which is a easy Windows machine, and then Bart, which is a medium Windows machine that you guys can attack as well. I also enabled, I think so. I enabled the guided mode, and that's something I can probably show you if you're actually wondering how it works. So let me see. Are you guys seeing it? Yes. Okay, now you're seeing it. There's 2 people. But if you take a look, let's say we go to Clicker, right? And then we hit play. We have the guided. That's the guided mode, right? So if we spawn the machine, I'm going to spawn it because I guess it doesn't matter right now. We're under the Meetup Labs, so the Ottawa Meetups enterprise platform that was telling you about. So if you request access, you still will be able to access it for a little while. It should be up very soon. Oh, you guys have the official write-up too over here. I didn't think I enabled it. Or somebody from my team enabled it. One of the 2. Eventually, we'll get there. It takes always a little bit long, a little bit of time, I mean. So you can see here, it will ask you like a bunch of different questions as you go through, right? Should I just go on the other page? Oh, there we go. So see how many 4-digit or less open TCP port are listening on Clicker. I think this one there's an error. I think we saw 4 earlier, but for whatever reason, it wants 5, right? And then we can take a look. What is the full path that is shared over NFS, right? Remember it was MNT, which is mounted, and backups, right? So now we have it. So it gives us the next question and try to lead us a little bit more where we need to get there, right? So which PHP page is vulnerable to mass assignment vulnerability, right? So the mass assignment vulnerability, I think, was the one with, let's go to viewer, uh, uh, the game. Yes, I hope you guys don't mind it too much. I think it was this one, but save game underscore PHP, right? Let's just copy this. HTTP. Let's go back here. No, that's this one. Paste. What is the page vulnerable? Just the page. Yeah. Should write down just the page. Save underscore game. All right, Nick. Take notes. It was really helpful, and I'll rewatch some part. I have to go for now, but your content is on point. Well, thank you very much, Nick. We're here to be able to have everybody. I mean, I should have changed my stuff. I'm still on blue team right now. Should have changed it to root, but we're here to be able to go much further, right? So stay tuned. Take a look at Discord very soon. I'm going to start doing like basically like night evenings where we can all go together doing all those stuff like Sherlock I showed earlier today, or any challenges all together, and try to build that community even further, right? So stay tuned and try to figure it out. Well, not try to figure it out, but try to participate if you can as much as possible. And we're going to be able to talk all over Discord at this point. I'm not going to do them all on YouTube. So stay tuned for this. But thank you very much for coming. It was great having you. Savegames.php. Or save. Oh, there we go. Save game. So see, what is the name of the extra menu option that shows? This one was administration, right? We remember them. Which page, which PHP page write files to the disk and return the path to that file? I mean, that's something that we could take a look. Either way, let's say you could have the hints as well. Review the source code and and pay specific attention to files now accessible as admin. So that's another thing too that you could have over here. So yeah, I mean, like you can go up to the root flag as you go through, and then this one will basically guide you onto some of the steps that you need to do to be able to get there, right? So you keep doing it, and then that's going to be that should be a little bit easier than if you do it on your own. Good, cool. We're losing people now. So all right. Any other questions? I mean, like, it's not because we're losing people that I have to go. We have 4 left. I don't see any other questions. So, all right. So if I don't have any questions, thank you very much for everyone that's participated. That's decide to participate. Well, yeah, participate into the conversation over here. It was much appreciated. It's very fun when we get that conversation together, and then people are shooting ideas, and then we have the discussion back and forth, and talk a little bit about the blue side as well on how can we protect, because it's not just about trying to hack, but it's also about trying to protect. The more we bring that purple perspective in mind, the better it's going to be for all of us. And I would say this is how I was able to basically challenge a lot of people in there with like many more years over top of me, right? Because I was able to understand the attacks. I performed the attacks myself, and now I could actually talk about it, right? So if you don't know exactly how they work, you're just going to assume from what you've learned in the books, but not necessarily the right way, because reading and doing it and having that experience will make a big difference into your career, into your knowledge, and into like everything else that will go along the way. So, all right. Well, thank you very much for everyone that attended the event, and then I hope to see you next month. So far, we have March 29th. So just mark that down on your calendar. I'm going to post it probably tonight or tomorrow, something like that. And then just make sure you subscribe to it so we can actually get a bunch of good people out there and then have some fun. And stay tuned for the rest of it. And again, CTF, go on the Discord channel and then make sure you sign up with us to be able to join in. I think there's a couple of positions, like I think there's about five, six, seven, something like that, positions available. So sign up. There's no like tons of knowledge required. You bring dedication and try to do your best, and that's the main thing. At this point, we're not going competitive. We're trying to just have fun together. Eventually, we'll become a little bit more competitive, but for the meantime, I think it's a good way to actually see it. So, all right, thank you very much for everyone that attended, and then I wish you a good one. Should have come here. All right, bye.